Hi everyone, this is Lindsay Avalon. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded a video in a while. Things have just been really crazy. Um, on the health front, everything's been pretty good. Physically, I've been doing great. My anxiety's been a little iffy at times. Mainly, I've just been kind of getting down on myself, but I'll talk a little bit about that more in a minute or so. Um, First, I would like to say that in about a month, I think to the day, I will be releasing the first book in my military romance military romance series called Hidden Battles. It is featuring Ariana and her hero Breck, who is an Army Airborne Ranger. Originally, Breck was going to be a Navy SEAL, and then I happened to meet someone who is an Army wife whose husband is a Ranger and is wonderful in giving me so much information to make my book as real as possible. So that help is just invaluable because I knew somebody who was in the Navy who is no longer with us, so I can't ask him questions. My best friend was in the Air Force, so I'm kind of going off of what she tells, like what I've heard from her. But the branches of the military are very different. For instance, uh, I know military personnel can be stationed overseas, but apparently Army Airborne Rangers at least are only stationed stateside, and then they're deployed overseas. So yeah, I kind of have to know these things so that my book can be as real as possible. Um, so I cannot wait to have you all read this. I am still writing it, but I'm hoping, really, really hoping, fingers crossed, to actually get this done early so that I can do pre-orders for the very first time. That would be so exciting. Um, Sorry. Whew. That's embarrassing. It's really late though, and I'm tired, and I'm supposed to go shovel snow, which, side note, oh my god, I'm so ready for it to not be winter anymore. Sadly, I have a ridiculous amount of snow to go shovel, and I really, really, really do not want to have to shovel the snow. So anyway, where was I? I'm sorry. So, how things have been going. I have not been writing as much as I wanted to because, quite frankly, I've been getting a little discouraged. I didn't get into writing to make money. One day I do want this to be my career, whether I'm making thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars a month or making $100 a month. I don't care. I'm very blessed to have a husband who will let me be a stay-at-home mom if that is still something that I want to do when we have children. And we're not financially dependent on me, or we won't be in a few years. But it's really discouraging to realize that in 2014, I made less than $500 on my books. And yeah, I am with a publisher. Had I self-published, I would have made less than $1,000. It's still not that much, especially when you consider how much actually goes into being an author, from doing giveaways, getting swag. I have to buy paperbacks ahead of time, and while I get a discount, it's only about 40%. So for everybody who's asked me for a paperback for review, I'm sorry, I do not do that. I pay for the paperback for shipping to me and for shipping to you. And when all said and done, that's about $7 or $8 at least. And I don't even know for sure if I'm actually going to get a review. So I am sorry. I will not do paperbacks for review. If one day I am making the New York Times bestseller list, I highly doubt I will, but if that ever happens, then yeah, I'd be more than happy to give paperbacks because I personally love holding a paperback. I have been known to buy ebooks and then buy the paperback if possible. But right now that's just not feasible. So, like I said, I didn't get into this for the money. And a large reason behind my not making that much had to do with all of my health issues and my anxiety and all of that happening. But at the same time, it's really discouraging. Um, in April, I have 2 craft shows I get to be in that I was accepted for my resin business. Captured Lovelies. I'll put a link in the description below for that. And I have a lot of pieces to make before then. My goal is to get about 200 pieces for both of the shows. So yeah, I have a lot of work to do. But with my Captured Lovely business, for a resin pendant, it can take me a while to make these, and they are more complicated than you would think. A lot of it has to do with layers, not to mention the price of the little charms or whatever little bits and pieces of things I put into it. That'll cost me money. But a resin pendant can probably take me a few hours, possibly spread out over days. Paperweight can take me about twice that length, depending on the complexity. Sometimes they won't, sometimes they will. It just depends. And I will charge anywhere from, depending on if I need to include some shipping in that, $10 to $25, depending on size, what went into it, etc., etc., etc. So, most people are willing to pay that if they're able to. A book, on the other hand, I have been known to write a book, a 50,000 word book, in about 10 days. So, usually with my writing, if I'm consistently writing quickly, I can write up to 1,000 words per hour. Sometimes I can go a little bit over that, but we'll just ballpark it and say 1,000 on average, including my slower days and stuff like that. So 50,000 word book, minimum is going to take me 50 hours. Generally, it's actually going to take me more than that, probably between 75 to 100 when you factor in time to put in corrections, time spent brainstorming, trying to find inspiration for my characters or the images used for cover art, etc. And my most expensive book is $3.99. So let's go over that again. $3.99 for between 75 and 100 hours of work. And I am actually a lot faster than what some authors are. Some authors can take much, much longer to write their books. So think about that. Versus my resin pieces, they can take me, almost a couple of days, and I can get at least 3 times, usually far more than that, 3, 4, 5 times what I would for my books. Yeah, that's a little crazy when you think about it. When you think about the average lunch costs more than what a book does. Lunch spent out. An average drink at Starbucks costs more than what one of my books costs. But I don't sell very many. I don't know the exact number that I sell. I don't want to know. That was actually part of why I became, why I signed on with Crushing Hearts, was so that I couldn't obsessively check my sales numbers. But I can see when my rank falls on Amazon, and not falling as in like doing really, really well. No, that doesn't happen. Sometimes it does, but I'm talking about seeing my rank get worse and worse, and knowing it's because nobody's buying the book. I don't want to make money on these. Quite honestly, if I wanted to, I know formulas that could probably do it for me. But I want to write what's in my head. But it's really discouraging to know people aren't buying your book, and that those who do generally aren't writing reviews, which are critical, especially for indie authors. And especially when you look at the fact that a book like 50 Shades of Grey, which, regardless of the subject matter, side note, I have actually read very well written books about BDSM. If you are interested, just contact me and I can give you some recommendations of really great authors. But 50 Shades of Grey, which became this huge phenomenon and a movie has been made about, I have not read the books, but I have looked through them in a bookstore, and I'm sorry, they are not well written at all. I don't care that it's erotica. I don't tend to read erotica. There are times when I will, but that does not bother me at all. What bothers me is the sentence structure is juvenile. It's what I would expect from someone in like 7th or 8th grade. Not to mention the mistakes such as like geographical mistakes which make no sense. The author is British, I believe. I know she's European, but I'm pretty sure she's British. Um, there was some scenes in the book that had to do with they were traveling somewhere, and just geographically, it made absolutely no sense what they did. I don't know if this is correct, so please do not crucify me if it's wrong, but it was something like wanting to go from Seattle to Portland, going through Vancouver or something. I don't remember, but it was something that made no sense. You would basically be doing this. No, that would not happen. You would not be doing a V to get to another city. So it's just, it bothers me when stuff like that takes off. Not to mention that, from what I understand, keep in mind I have not read these books, but certain things, like the fact that I guess he completely disregards when she uses her safe words, that is not cool. And BDSM, the 3 tenets of it are safe, sane, consensual. And you must always honor the safe word. That is your safety net. You are supposed to use it, and everything stops. For both the man, the woman, dominant, submissive, be it 2 guys, 2 girls, I don't really care. Whoever uses it, because it could be the dominant who wants to use it, everything stops. Apparently he disregards that. And I know some people don't like it for various reasons, some of which are legitimate BDSM concepts. There can be some degradation, calling a woman a slut, things like that. It has different connotations if it's consensual, which, like I said, from what I understand, there are times when he's disregarding it, or disregarding the very things that are supposed to keep that sort of play safe. That is not okay. And yet it took off. And I don't even want to know how they made a movie out of that, because apparently, and I believe this just from when I was skimming the book, I could not really find more than a few pages that did not involve sex. I don't know how they made that movie and it not just be pure porn, but whatever. So seeing something like that, when I've seen authors who write beautifully, they write so well. I'm not even talking about myself, but authors that I know just do a fantastic job writing. And, they struggle to sell 100 books a month, and this thing just took off and was crazy. It's, like I said, discouraging. So that's one thing I've had to struggle with recently, getting discouraged. I was doing okay until I got that stupid 1099 and saw exactly what I made. You're able to delude yourself into thinking you've made more, and it's not so bad. And I have been trying to move past it and just focus on the fact that I love writing and that's what I want to do, and I'm not in it for the money, but it is hard. So I haven't been posting very much on Facebook lately because a lot of that sort of thing has been weighing on me, and it's something that I know will pass. I don't really want to post about it because it's, in my opinion, not really relevant to a lot of people. It's not really my anxiety manifesting, it's my self-doubts, and I do see a difference in that. It has nothing to do with my sensory processing or anything like that. And admittedly, some of this does come from the whole debacle that happened recently with a fan who just went completely off the deep end. And you check back through my videos, I made a video addressing it. I don't really want to go back into it more. That shook my confidence more than I wanted to, primarily because one phrase that she said has just stuck, which was that I'm unraveling, when in reality I've been doing so much better than I have in a long time. And I let it get to me more than I should, and I know that, and I am working past that. So I haven't really been posting about that because it's me being self-conscious. And I feel like I'd be whining. So anybody who's wondering, that's why I haven't really been posting very much. I am coming out of it because let's face it, if my goal is to get people to buy my books, I have to keep writing my books. And if I sit around thinking, oh my god, it sucks, nobody's reading my books, and I let it get me down and I don't write, then yeah, how's anybody ever going to read my books if they're not actually written? I know, strange concept there, right? So, my goal tonight is to go back through. I have to make some changes on Hidden Battles to work with the timeline. After talking to my army source, and I want to make those changes, and I want to write at least one more chapter. And you know, there was some quote by Nora Roberts, and I really wish I had actually looked this up before I made this video, but whatever. And it had to do with basically like the only obstacle like you can't do much about or whatever. It has to do with the blank page. It basically was, you know, move on and just write. The more you just sit there and stare at the blank page, nothing's going to happen. If you write it, you can go back and fix it later on. And there's another quote that I do actually remember a little bit more. That is, it is better to write 4 pages of, you know, just crap than to spend, you know, 40 hours trying to write page 4. So I'm going to try to take that into heart. I'm going to try to be a little bit more positive and a little bit more forgiving of myself. I am my worst critic, my harshest critic. And yeah, so I'm sorry, my videos always tend to go long. I don't have my glasses on. That's like 17 and a half minutes. Sorry. So anyway, I hope you all are staying warmer than I am. We are buried under snow, and it sucks, and I have to actually go shovel the driveway so my husband can get into the driveway tomorrow. Yeah. Make sure that you are following me on Facebook and stuff, and let me know if you like my videos. I am going to try to at least do one a week. But keep an eye out for more about Hidden Battles. As I said, it will be out on March 21st, and then on April 14th, I will be releasing the conclusion to Sean Connor's trilogy, not the conclusion to the Mithrian Realm. There should be at least 4 books from the Mithrian Realm released this year, and at least 1 from the Hidden series, which is my military romance. So I am really excited about this. I'm really excited about my craft shows coming up in April. I will be at Lori Foster's Reader-Author Get-Together first week in June. I believe it's June 3rd to the 7th. I will also be at a signing in Dayton on June 6th. Yes, you heard that right. I'm doing 2 events at the same time. I'm a little crazy like that, but that shouldn't surprise some of you. So I really hope that you guys can make it out there. I will put links to both of those things in the description. And I will see you next time. Thank you.